Now, I think there's going to need to be a push of connectivity, and I don't know if it's going to be something that's code driven, but if there's a way, I don't care what manufacturer it is, it's irrelevant who you use, right? But if there's a way that you can connect the panel to a central station and you can pass data to fire department 2-3 minutes faster than, let's call it how it was done in the past. Like, if we can't agree that that makes sense, there's a problem, right? If we can't agree that that should be the mission, there's a problem, right? And so at the end of the day, it's safety for our kids who are in school, or elderly in assisted living, or office buildings. I mean, that connectivity is everything. And so I hope that's the future. I hope that's where we go. We're able to bring a better sense of security and safety to the industry and to our communities.
This is episode 86 of the Fire Protection Podcast, powered by InspectPoint. Today, my guest is Jason Leopoldo from JEM Systems in Phoenix, Arizona. I guess Scottsdale, Arizona. But yeah, he's a business owner out there and been in the fire alarm space for quite a bit. Used to be on the integrator and service provider side in Southern California, and got a great idea to start this tremendous supply business on the fire alarm side. And they're branching out into engineering and design and training. And it's really cool to see, kind of coming from the supply side and seeing how that has transformed their business. So great to have him on discussing different things in the fire alarm world and how they're breaking now into the sprinkler world, and kind of the future and some of the different topics that is coming around the fire protection and fire alarm industry. So yeah, and we're kicking off our partnership with InspectPoint and JEM with this podcast. So we got into that as well. I hope you enjoy the episode, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks. Jason, what's happening?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good. It's officially fall, and waving goodbye to summer, which is tough. You're like, I can't wait for summer to be over, right?
Yeah, too many triple digit days in Scottsdale. So we're hoping summer's behind us shortly. So we're excited.
That's great. Well, thanks for coming on the podcast today, and love to kind of explore a little about yourself and JEM. So I guess tell the audience that might not know who JEM Systems is, and or you personally, right?
Yeah.
Jason. And we'll go from there.
So first off, appreciate you having me on today. Great opportunity for all of us. So my name is Jason Leopoldo, and I'm the president of JEM Systems. Previously, I worked for an integrator for about 10 years in the Southern California market. And so I always tell everyone I like to believe that I understand where our customers stand, because I used to be one of them. So been with JEM since the inception in 2019, and I sit in the role of the president. We are a distributor in the commercial fire life space with a value add in engineering services. So we assist our customers with 2D fire design, BIM modeling, sprinkler design, BDA, and as well as early warning detection. So a little bit of value add. We also have teams that go on site to help our customers, whether it's commissioning a BDA system or testing on site. So really trying to think out of the box and how we can help our customers succeed and grow.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, I came from the supply side, more on the suppression and sprinkler side. And that's where I kind of learned a lot about the industry, not as much on the fire alarm side, but it was like, the design and the commissioning was always separate, right? From the manufacturing supply side. And you guys have, one of the first ones that I've seen are really trying to, that's pull through. If you're doing the design, you're involved in that process with those integrators and those contractors, like you'll probably be in the conversation to supply that material as well.
Yeah. No, you're correct. I mean, initially when we started, that wasn't our, let's call it our vision or where we were going. We started with the idea we wanted to bring access to the market significantly easier than what it was, or how I felt it was in Southern California. And that kind of was our initial go-to-market strategy. COVID hit, we were online, and that helped us kind of create visibility to our business and grow. And then boom, we realized our customers needed much more than just the box that was shipped to them. And we continued to hear from them that they struggled with just finding good people, finding talent. And it's a topic that we hear virtually from every single one of our customers, where whether it's techs out in the field, engineers in an office being able to do CAD design, or a team that does takeoff estimates. We continue to hear that struggle. And so having that background that my partner and a couple of our executives on our team had on the integrator side allowed us to say, hey, let's take a stab at this and let's see if we can build a support system for our customers. And that's really where it's allowed us to be more than an average distributor. It's allowed us to get connected on projects that we thought we would never ever be on. And at the end of the day, try and really help out the market, help out the gap of the labor gap in this industry. And as you mentioned, engineering and parts, those two, one helps the other, right? I mean, we can have a connection with the customer that is purchasing material from us, and we're able to support them on design or vice versa. At the end of the day, we have to figure out ways where we can help the customer succeed. And we believe engineering is really one of them.
Yeah. I remembered back to my day, and even on the sprinkler side, is you got the projects by helping the engineer and the design out. And you knew it was coming. You knew the project was coming before the subcontractors were even awarded it almost. So it was, it's a good way to start at the top of the funnel.
Yeah. I mean, you see it with the manufacturers, right? They have teams who demand gen, right? They're trying to create demand for their brand, and so they do lunch and learns with engineers, with the fire departments. They're trying to create demand for the integrators that are working under them, right, or partnering with them. And so we try and do the same, right? We try and it's not all about, hey, what creates a sale for us as a business. A lot of it is just do good work. Support your customers in a way that no one has before, or they can't find support right now. And I think when you do good work, the consequence of that is a benefit to your business. And so we continue to try and find ways that pre-contract, how can we support customers pre-contract so they can win more business? And so it's a continuous way of trying to think out of the box. And put ourselves in the shoes of our customers and say, what do they need? What can we help with? And I keep saying this, and it's the truth. It's how can we help our customers succeed? And when they succeed, you succeed.
Yeah. No, you're right on with that. You guys started in 2019. And pretty much right after COVID hit. I guess, what did you learn about, I know material, especially on the fire alarm side, but in all realms of fire protection, they were tough to come by through the first couple COVID years and the pandemic years. And how did you guys position yourself to really come out of that? And I guess, how do things look like? How do things look now? And how do the integrators, do they act differently? Do they stock more, or is it more of like a just-in-time model like it used to be?
So you're correct that the just-in-time was the past. Through COVID, we realized that if you had it, you sold it, right? I mean, because it's just with the component shortages and whatnot, everyone struggled to have material, whether it was the manufacturer, the distributor, or the integrators themselves. And so I'm not going to say it was easy to sell in distribution, but if you had it, you sold it because everyone needed it. So let's call it how you went to market was different prior to COVID. How you went to market in COVID was differently. And then how we go to market now is differently as well, right? I mean, I think the just-in-time is gone. And I'm confident the manufacturers would agree with that. I also believe that the way we supported integrators through COVID is different. Because we would sell to a customer who during COVID who normally was not our customer because they would buy direct. That model has now gone back to where they go back to buying direct, whether it's depending on the brand, they go and they buy direct as they should. So we as a distributor now are virtually their safety net. If there's a gap or if they need something quick, next day, we're able to process that very quickly and efficiently for them. like I said, the just-in-time model, I think that's culturally that's gone. And now there's been many pushes from the manufacturers to say, hey, stock up to the integrators, right? Stock up, because time is always of the essence in fire. If you're servicing something or a panel's down, you need to get it up and running as soon as possible. And so, there's always been a push to stock up, and even with incentives, whether it's discounts, you name it, there's been that push. But the brutal truth is most integrators don't just have $50, $60, $100,000 of extra cash flow just lying around just to park it in their warehouse. They don't maybe have the warehouse space or a system to control their inventory or a person. And so that's been a struggle for the integrators themselves. We've seen that. So I think they've used companies like us or other distributors in the market to act as their just in time to support them on the service side, the project side of the business. If they have lines direct, they continue to go direct as they should. Now, if they're a distributor, if they buy through distribution, the distribution channel, then they'll use that. But I think through COVID, I mean, everyone grew and everyone sold if you were selling parts. It's just the truth, right? And so we continue to bet on having stock, and it's kind of put us in the position where we are today. Now, the way we support customers is significantly different than how we used to do it. And we enjoy that because it's a healthier business for us. And that's where really the engineering piece came in, where that's something that we can support any integrator with any manufacturer, whether it's fire, BDA, early warning detection, sprinkler, you name it. There's no real inventory there outside of our personnel, our engineers on staff, who are our cogs, our inventory to support the customers.
Gotcha. Wait, so are you guys doing sprinkler design at this point? Oh, you are? Okay. Yeah. I did not know that. That's amazing.
We started building a team about, I would say 9 to 12 months ago, really focused on that. Where we are stepping on the gas, but we're also doing it careful so that we ensure quality, we ensure good lead times on delivery, all that. And so that's also been something we built off of just listening to the customer. Many customers, we did fire design for them, and they have a sprinkler division, and they're like, hey, this is great. Do you also do sprinkler? And our response was not right now. And I always joke, when you get hit in the head so many times, you either continue getting hit in the head or you do something about it. So here we are.
That's great. I know you obviously, from the fire CAD conversation, you use that on the fire alarm design side of the business. What are you using on the sprinkler side?
We used now you're asking me a question I should know.
Well, it's either AutoSprink, HydroCAD, or SpringCAD.
HydroCAD.
So one of those.
We're using HydroCAD. Cool. We've played with a couple of them, and I let the pros figure it out. Our VP of engineering is the one that kind of is spearheading that mission. But we're seeing what works. Our business is built off of one word, and it's pivot. Right. I mean, we truly see, hey, let's go. If it works, keep going. If it doesn't, we adjust. And so I'm letting them kind of run with it and see where it takes us. But that's kind of the initial play.
Yeah, it's exciting to see you doing a kind of crossing usually that fire alarm and other trades like sprinkler and suppression. There's always been a barrier there. But the contractors and the integrators, right, are doing more sub-trades within fire protection. So if you're being asked to that, it's kind of breaking down your wall now. So you're expanding out into another vertical, right?
Yeah. We have a lot of, with the consolidation in the market, right? With private equity coming in, you have a lot of sprinkler companies who acquired fire companies, or a PE firm who acquired a sprinkler and a fire in the same area, right? And so you see a lot of like coming together, and so that's why we believe we've seen a ton of overlap as well. And so we've decided that, hey, let's support them in that space. And you get the same in like the low voltage space of like area of refuge and two-way communication, kind of how BDA came in. And so we've been able to support that space. Now getting into the water is a bit different, right? Let's be honest. But it's something we're excited about, especially with our modeling 3D BIM team.
Yes.
We're excited also to get better connected with Sprinkler to support the BIM side of it as well.
Nice. Well, I knew you guys were working on it, but I didn't know it was already here. So I'm sure we'll have some more stuff to talk about here after this podcast.
Definitely.
So, it's end of September now. I know there was a recent. You mentioned you were at a recent show. Big manufacturer out there, and obviously, I think there's a couple other coming up this fall. But was there any big topics talked about there, or what is coming up in the fire alarm industry as kind of the next big thing?
Yeah. So we attend many shows from the let's call it the top 3, 4, 5 manufacturers. And it's nice because you get to listen and hear what they're speaking about, what their vision is, what they're seeing. I mean, AI doesn't stop, right? I mean, we continue to hear about where the world is going with AI and how fire is slower to adopt, but fires get into the AI space. Data center. You obviously need the data centers to support the AI. So there's a lot of talk in just how code's changing because of data centers, how code is changing because of battery storage, lithium ion batteries. So that's a big topic. I mean, the joke around is there's not enough integrators to build what's in the pipeline for the data center world. And so we'll see if that's true. And then connectivity as well, right? How can we, or how can the manufacturers work with the monitoring houses and the integrators and the building owners to pass data from end to end as quickly as possible? One for just visibility, and then 2 for safety, right? How can, let's say you're rolling trucks in the event of an alarm, how can they have data in their hands faster than normal so they can roll quicker and they can understand what they're walking into or running into before they're actually in the building? And so a lot of it surrounds data and the connectivity side.
Yeah. And I see that, obviously I'm coming from the software realm, but talking to other companies like First Do out there, who's like an AHJ platform that essentially is the dispatch software for the on-site first responders, right? And where they're grabbing data from, obviously grabbing it from those panels, from those monitoring stations and all that, to obviously provide that to the emergency response is critical. And even from our side is, hey, you do these cyclical inspections on different frequencies. Hey, what has come up? Is there any critical deficiencies at that building? And essentially that's in the hand of the first responder at that point. So it's interesting they're talking about that. I think it's been a talk for a while, and I hope to be more focused, because there's an opportunity there for these fire alarm systems to pass that data. The problem I see, though, is all these panels aren't. How do you connect all the panels without a big lift? New buildings, great.
Yeah.
But 90% of what's out there is still, analog, not even connected.
I mean, you hit it on the head, right? It's a big lift. It's not a task that you or I are going to solve by ourselves, or one integrator, right? And that's why the continued push, I always say, is we all have to do this together, whatever it is, right? Whether it's connectivity, whether it's trying to solve the labor shortage in this industry. I mean, no one's doing it by themselves. So I'm a big believer that when we go to conferences, whether it's NFPA or we go to a conference for a manufacturer or a regional one, we all need to work together and as somewhat as partners, not as enemies or competitors, because there's so much that we all need to work together to solve.
Yes.
Going back to my days on the integrator side, this was when they were first launching. We were working with a company called the Compliance Engine, who I'm sure you probably have heard of and work with. And they were coming into LA, and they wanted to. They had a partnership with, or an agreement with, the city of LA to upload all their stuff into the platform. We, as the integrators, were like, heck yeah, this is great. It's going to bring business to all the integrators on the test and inspect, because someone's going to be held accountable for. Because back in the day, you do a report, you'd print it, you send it to the fire station. Who knows if they read it? Right. Who knows if anyone kept track of it? Right. And so, I look back and I go, it was so much more than just the business, right? It was about safety, right? Because at the end of the day, we need to keep people accountable and owners accountable, so that for the safety of our communities, right? And so, I think that was a great push. Now I think there's going to need to be a push of connectivity, and I don't know if it's going to be something that's code driven, but if you can, if there's a way, I don't care what manufacturer it is, it's irrelevant who you use, right? But if there's a way that you can connect the panel to a central station and you can pass data to fire department 2-3 minutes faster than, let's call it how it was done in the past,
right? Like,
if we can't agree that makes sense, there's a problem, right? If we can't agree that should be the mission, there's a problem, right? And so at the end of the day, it's safety for our kids who are in school, or elderly in assisted living, or office buildings. I mean, that connectivity is everything. And so I hope that's the future, right? I hope that's where we go, where we're able to bring a better sense of security and safety to the industry and to our communities. And so it's fun to be a part of that. That's why I always joke, like, fire alarm isn't sexy, but if you really go down and you look at its foundation, like, it's pretty dang cool what each and every one of us is doing.
Yeah, it is. And I just had Jim Pauly on the podcast talking about their big campaign is a code for every moment. And I actually saw the commercial, but I somehow got targeted of a fire protection commercial. Yeah. Right. Anyway, so it's just some random person walking into a restaurant, or they're walking into an arena, and it literally it's pointing out NFPA 101, NFPA 17 for suppression, right? Yeah. And people don't know when they walk into a public building of everything that's going on behind the scenes to make them safer. So,
yeah, it's funny you say that, because prior to being in fire, I would walk into a building with, like, my head just level, and that's just what I did. And our employees who have started to work with us, many who don't come from a fire background, always joke with me. They walk into a building and they're just like this now. Everyone looks up and they're like, because it's just cool, right? It's just, now they realize, like, what's behind the screen. And so, and I'm sure there's tens of thousands of different industries that's the same kind of idea, right? You walk somewhere and you don't really realize what's behind it all. So it's fun to be a part of. It's a challenge of where we all stand, and I think there is a lot of opportunity for software, distributor, integrator. There's a ton of opportunity out there, and it's opportunity that allows us to live in a better place.
Yep. Yeah, you're right on that connectivity. I think if there's different stakeholders, different players through the industry, if we could all come to an agreement to connect it better, and you can do that through software, right? That's the easiest part to do it. Hardware is a little tougher because of listings and all that, but software, you can really connect it. And I know we're working on some things with Inspect Point's working on it with JEM to, like, hey, how, and I've always envisioned this because I came from the supply side. I'm like, man, if these integrators and contractors, half their cost half the cost is labor, half the cost is material. If we could somehow connect the material side into their everyday workflows, it makes it more efficient. It makes it easier, and you provide a better value to the customer at the end of the day, right?
No, I agree. Right. It's with, efficiency is everything, especially in an industry where, many struggle to find good people. And so if we can put things in their hands, or you guys put things in their hands that allows them to do more with less or be better, it's everything. It's everything.
Yeah. And when you're doing an inspection or a service call, a lot of times, sometimes you can wait if it's not critical deficiency or whatever, but a lot of times you need it there the next day. You know, in the worst case, you have to have a fire watch there because a panel's down or something's down, right? It's a system's down. So the better information you have essentially in the palm of your hand on getting that material out to get that fixed, I think the better we all are, right?
Yep. Avoid the last minute fire drill.
Yeah.
So, but we've continued to see that, right? I think, time will always be of the essence in this space because of safety. And so, how can integrators be best suited to support that? Whether it's through software, through parts, through distribution, whatever it be, the more tools we can put in their hands to do a better job, the better.
Yes, for sure. Sticking on software, I was doing a little digging on your resume, and you don't know this, found out you're a soccer player, which I did not know. What's that about? You never brought that up before.
Yeah, it's like a different life of mine. No, I mean, very briefly, I played collegiate at UCLA, played for the national team for a bit.
Oh, wow.
And then I ended up playing 10 years for the U.S. beach soccer team. So I played in a couple of World Cups, traveled the world for about 10 years.
Wow.
So it's a different world.
Cool.
Now I get to live.
You played beach soccer?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's even more impressive.
Yeah. Now I get to live vicariously through my kids.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Remember the days, right?
Yeah. No, it's a different, it's funny because it's like different hats. I mean, that was a different career, a different hat. And then running a business in this industry is such a different hat. But I tell everyone, sports in general taught me everything about life, from working together. Sometimes days aren't easy. You got to put your head down and run. It taught me everything. And so, I attribute a ton of our success into just team building and how working as a team can really help put you in a good spot to succeed.
Yeah, I can see definitely the team building, from soccer, football, whatever those team sports. It really aligns you to be a leader and everybody come together as one, right?
100%.
That my question wasn't about soccer. I just saw that on there. I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. I did some digging on this Project Dome thing that you do. I looked into it a little bit. It's an Oracle ERP. Is it an ERP like professional services company? I know that's been a big. We work with them all the time, so it's interesting that you're in that realm as well.
Yeah. So my partner and I, not to get too far into it, when we initially started the company, we used QuickBooks for our ERP. With the growth of the business and needing more complex solutions for us, we started using Oracle's NetSuite, and we struggled with because you have to develop it to yourself, right? It's not out of the box like QuickBooks. Exactly. And so we struggled finding a company in the U.S. to help develop it and customize it for ourselves. We had we have a couple offices in Brazil, and we found, just by word of mouth and sort of by accident, we found an integrator. What do you call it? I used to call it an integrator, a dev team out of there, out of Brazil, who works with Oracle in the South American market, who was able to do virtually customize, develop our software. much better than the 3 previous companies in the US tried.
Wow.
And so we ended up partnering with them. My cousin and I did kind of a side investment, invested in them because we just saw such a great opportunity for what they were doing, and once again how they could support companies like us who were struggling with virtually a go to market on the ERP.
Yeah. I feel like the integrator is, and you probably tapped into something potentially pretty big, because I mean, we run into the integrators all the time because we connect into whatever suite you have, whether it's all the way down to QuickBooks, all the way up to Oracle, the Oracle, right? Or SAP or something like that. So we're having to work with these integrators, and the integrators, they definitely don't know Fire, right? And I think you might have tapped into something if you're providing that, where, hey, you understand the nuances of that. And I think there's a big need. And even Salesforce integrators, it's like one of the most expensive.
That was a different battle, but it felt the same. It felt the same.
Right.
So we have Salesforce as well. It felt the same as far as the integration. But that's a different conversation, because that's like a side piece of what we're doing, a side thing. We haven't really integrated it with how we're going to come into, if we were to ever come into the Fire space with that support. It was just this was 4 years ago, maybe, where we saw such a great opportunity. We decided to partner with them, and they did a heck of a job bringing our system together.
Yeah, it's great. It's cool to hear about, because I know that's a rub a lot of times for these integrators and contractors, and private equity groups are trying to get their tech stack in place. And that's a big piece of that. It's the number one piece, is that ERP. So
the integration of all, as you mentioned, with PE firms, how do they integrate all the platforms together of all the companies they acquire into one? It's a creative dance. Let's leave it at that.
I see the struggles, and hey, if you do it successfully, it is incredible value for that overall company. But and we see a lot of it now. It's like essentially day one, when they're acquired, they're coming in, and here's the whole tech stack. You're changing everything you've done, and how do you do that? Like, change management's tough. So
it's tough, and that's above where I stand. So I'll let someone else figure that out.
Jason, this has been awesome, man. Any other topics you want to hit, or anything? You guys got anything coming up? I know I see a lot of these training classes coming around, or virtual.
We have a good amount of training classes. I mean, that's a part of our value add, right? We provide training at no cost. We partner with the manufacturers themselves, and we bring people into our offices to do hands-on training, whether it's on Fire panels, whether it's on BDA systems, ERCSA systems. Once again, we're trying to bring people together, be kind of a quarterback of the manufacturer, the integrator, training, knowledge. And so we have a training, I think, happening next month in Atlanta. Cool. We have our partnership with you guys that we're about to launch. So we can chat a bit more about that. But we have AI that we're building as well. So there's a lot in the pipeline that we're trying to go to and see where it takes us. Yeah,
no, I agree. I think there's a big, and we'll do the launch, but if we're kind of teasing it now, but essentially, inside InspectPoint and FireCAD, there'll be the JEM product line, so you can get real time information, pricing, and at some point availability and all that. But that's the vision, is like, if you're on, like I was saying before, if you're on a job site, you need the parts. Otherwise, I need to do a Firewatch here. So, I've always wanted that in the platform, and you guys are perfect fit for that with everything you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, really bringing power to the hand of the technician or the integrators on site, right? It's how can you guys continue to add value doing that? I mean, we're excited about the partnership. We think we can provide together efficiencies to them to do a better job, faster, more profitable, hopefully, right? So we're excited for it. It's just obviously one little piece of what I think all of us are trying to do together to bring a better value to the market.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for sure. All right. So where can everybody find you? Where can JEM Systems yourself, quick plug?
Yeah. So, I mean, gemsystems.com. I mean, you can, if you go to contact us page, you can, there's a map that shows all the reps that handle each of the regions. My contact information, I don't believe is on there, but something I'll share with you later on, and we can throw it on the podcast. I always say I'm easily available to everyone and anyone because I enjoy speaking with everyone. I think we all learn from each other, even if it's small integrators who are just starting. I still think we learn from them, right? To the people who have done it for 50, 60 years. So at the end of the day, I always say, this isn't a sales pitch just about us. This is really how we all can come together to provide a better service to the industry and help us all succeed and provide a better, a safer community in each of our states. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that, and thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be chatting here again soon.
Cool. Thanks for having me, Drew.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason. This has been episode 86 of the Fire Protection Podcast, powered by InspectPoint. I want to thank Jason again from JEM Systems coming on and discussing everything fire alarm and fire protection in the supply world and beyond. So really cool to kind of launch this, and more to come, and see you again soon. Thanks.